Hi and welcome to another Memories Made video. I'm designer Jen Gallacher, and today we are going to continue talking about types of designs. We've talked about grid design and we've talked about circular design. Today we're going to talk about a design which is basically a centered design. And how it works is you take a sheet of paper, I'm using an 8.5 by 11-inch sheet of cardstock, and then we're going to center all of the pieces in the middle of the layout. And to do that, I'm going to start with some basic gray. It's some old pattern paper from the PB&J collection. And I'm going to do an autumn page. So I selected a lot of really rich tones of autumn colors that you might find. Now this just kind of grounds the layout, and the white allows it to stand out a little bit. To put all of the things in the center, what you'll want to do is you'll gather all of your items. It can be photos, it can be embellishments, and you start playing around with them. And the concept is that you're going to go down the center of the layout, with most of the items being clustered around your photo, because you want the eye to be drawn immediately to the center of the layout. So you can see that I have several different strips of pattern paper. The first thing that I wanted to do was add some stamping. So I'm going to take this Echo Park paper, pattern paper. It is a dictionary print. You can use any dictionary print paper that you have, and we're going to stamp first. So the first thing that I'll do is I'll take my stamp, and I'm using a Technique Tuesday stamp, and I'm going to use this particular stamp that talks about different colors of leaves. You can see there are several to choose from. And then because I'm going to be using some blue and I want it to stand out a little bit, I'm going to use this blue stamping ink, and I simply ink up the stamp. And then towards the bottom, I am going to add some stamping. I want to leave a little bit of space at the bottom because I am going to cut this into a pennant shape. So just make sure you press firmly and don't rock the stamp too much, but you want to make sure it gets the entire image. So you can see that darker blue really helps that image to show up. So again, we're going to cut the ends into a pennant shape. Just cut a triangle from the bottom. You see me do this all the time. You could also use a decorative scissors, or you could rip the ends if you so desire. And then to further distress it, I'm going to use a brown pigment ink to rub the edges, to make it look a little bit more distressed. You could also machine stitch around this part of the paper. I just want to make sure that it's going to lay on my layout correctly. So you want to do things like stamping first so that it gives time for your image that you've stamped to dry. So start with things like stamping or spray ink or spray mist first. On top of the yellow pattern paper, I have some tan pattern paper. It is from a collection by Cartabella. Most of the papers on here are older papers, so simply, if you're recreating this layout, you can simply add similar colors. So look for a yellow, a tan, a poppy orange, a soft denim blue, and then some tans. And that's the colors that I have used on this layout today. And that way you can use up some of your stash too. I'll also link you on my blog to some similar pattern papers you could try. So if these aren't in stock anymore, and many of them probably won't be, you won't be able to find them at 2Ps anymore, but you can look for similar ones. Again, the concept is that we are going down the center of our layout. So this is going to stretch from the top of the cardstock all the way to the bottom, and make sure that it is centered all the way down. And then we'll do the blue pattern paper. I believe this is an old My Little Shoebox, but it might be a Imagine S pattern paper that I've had, but it's a nice tone-on-tone blue. This is a basic gray pattern paper, and this might be a newer one, so you should be able to still find this at 2Ps. I'm just overlapping the pennants just to build up some bulk in the center. And then before I place this one down, I'm going to take some yellow baker's twine. This is from Doodlebug. You could use any of the colors that I've used in this layout. Well, I'll wrap it around about 4 times, and cut off just enough that I can tie it into a bow. And you'll want to do this before you place it onto your layout. You could also thread the ends through a button, and that would look beautiful as well. Sometimes when I'm using pieces that have elements like twine around them, I might need to use a glue dot to hold it in place, but we'll see if this will hold without a glue dot. I'm going to adjust the twine a little bit. Then I'll place this on the layout. Now before I go any further, the next thing that I will do is I will visually see how my placement is working. And I do like the way that it is looking with the photo here. So the next step would be to gather embellishments that can be clustered around this photo, because again, we're doing a centered design. So gathering some embellishments is the next step. You simply shop your stash for things that you have. So I pulled a few different things that I'm going to use. This is a Rolodex card from Chic Tags, and then I have a blue tag from Studio Calico and a gold tag from Fancy Pants Designs. And we'll go ahead and start layering items behind where the photo is going to go. And because the Studio Calico tag has a string in it, I want to add something to this tag here, and you can add whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and add just a paper clip. It just gives it a little bit more presence, and the metallic gives it a masculine feel. Then let's add the Rolodex, and I'll gently place the photo down so I can get a feel for where I want it to go. Then we'll place the photo down more permanently with some adhesive. And for the title, I'm going to use an old chipboard piece. This is from Little Yellow Bicycle, and it says A Boy's Life. And again, remember, we're centering all of the items in the middle of the page. So this is going to go centered on this pennant down here. Then for some additional objects, I'm going to add a bingo number and some very small yellow sequins. I'm trying to use all the same colors that I've been using. Then photo corners are something that you see me do a lot. It helps ground the photos a little bit. So again, these are from Canson. I'll just add one to each corner here. And then to continue with some of the woodsy feel that this particular layout has, I am adding some Studio Calico cork pieces. And I'm going to add them underneath that bingo number rather. I usually add them in odd numbers, so we'll add 3. So this is actually a very quick and easy layout style to do. As you can see, we put this together pretty quickly. And just by having all of your pieces cut and ready to go, all you need to do for this design is simply put everything in the center of your page. The eye is instantly drawn to the center and everything looks good on this particular design. So thank you for joining me for today's Memories Made video. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of these weekly videos.